Here in the U.S., the NFL just announced it will have an increased presence at games this weekend, given the terrifying incident right outside France's National Soccer Stadium. Also, New York Governor Mario Cuomo announced today that state agencies are on heightened alert and using new surveillance measures. Joining me now is former CIA counterterrorism analyst Buck Sexton. Buck, first to you, because there are football games happening all weekend, college football games as well as NFL games. How concerned should the average U.S. citizen be right now?
I think the best way to describe it would be on heightened alert for the authorities and just the continued vigilance that all Americans should have in a post 9/11 era. If they have some sense that something around them is going awry, they should obviously bring it to the attention of the authorities. But we can't live in fear, and we can't decide that we're going to make this something that changes our way of life here at home just because of what's happened in Paris. There's obviously a lot that's going on right now, a lot of liaison, a lot of intelligence sharing between the various European services and all of the agencies and law enforcement groups here in this country that are trying to prevent a similar thing from happening. But there is no such thing as perfect security. Obviously, the Islamic State's had a lot of time to plan, to equip, to put together these kinds of operations. This is not the last of this kind of operation we're going to see, and I think that this is something of a wake-up call, not just for Europe, but for all of the West.
I've been speaking to officials in the FBI, other agencies in the U.S. They're all working throughout the weekend. Looking at the people that the U.S. has already been monitoring, Director Comey of the FBI has said there are around 900 open investigations on potential terrorists right here in the U.S. Walk us through what is happening right now with intelligence officials, law enforcement officials with these cases.
Well, this is very similar to the sorts of cases I had to handle in the NYPD Intelligence Division. You have individuals who perhaps have some kind of a tie to radicals, perhaps people who have even been prosecuted for some sort of terrorist-related activity. Oftentimes, it's material support to a terrorist group. But just being on the radar, so to speak, is not something that's necessarily prosecutable. So you could have people that are known to, say, the FBI or to other law enforcement agencies here at home who are saying the sorts of things that would raise eyebrows and that would be concerning, that show a degree of radicalization, that show that they have perhaps even gone to the edge of jihadization, where they've decided that they might in fact try to partake or try to assist others in partaking in jihad. But that's not necessarily something law enforcement can pounce on, and there are so many of these open cases across the country, as the FBI director has said, as well as others, that you can't have a perfect scoreboard. You're not going to be able to keep an eye on everyone all the time, and so you really have to do a degree of triage. Despite all the resources we have in a post 9/11 era, we also don't want to live in a police state, and individuals who are just under suspicion do have rights. So it's a very big ask for law enforcement and intel agencies here in this country to get it right all the time. And as we see in Europe, unfortunately, we don't get it right all the time.
Absolutely, and as you point out, that they have a finite number of resources, and speaking to officials after the Paris attacks, a big concern is that they can't see all the communications as well with encryption. So certainly officials have their work cut out for them. Buck Sexton, thank you so much.